Let's bring in our team here. We've got our chief White House correspondent, Jon Karl, my fellow moderator, Linsey Davis, Rahm Emanuel, former mayor of Chicago, Obama White House chief of staff, now one of our contributors. And Jon, let me begin with you. And Mary was saying that in her introduction. It really does appear after last night that the fault lines in the Democratic Party are clear. The debate is crystallized.
Clearly, in the beginning of that debate, George, you saw the revenge of the moderates. It was interesting to see basically ganging up on Bernie Sanders and, by extension, Elizabeth Warren and the idea of Medicare for all. And you saw Biden go right there, but he was joined in the attack by Amy Klobuchar and by the others. It was a clear fault line, a clear area of debate.
How does this debate get solved inside the party?
Well, for the general election, because there's nothing as unifying as Donald Trump. And I actually, while there are divisions, they're really not huge divisions. Everybody would like to ban assault weapons. Everybody would like to expand health care coverage and control costs. It's how you get there. And Donald Trump's going to bring the party together because the single most, number one, number two, number three most important goal for the Democratic Party, ideologically, philosophically, and politically.
So they can bridge this divide over Medicare for all?
100%. Everybody, whoever's the nominee, every one of those people on the stage will be giving ratifying confirmation of why they're the right person to lead the battle into beating Donald Trump. Because what he has done, I think, and this is my point, is which is the best for the general election? A progressive that either electrifies the base or a person both in tone, tenor, and policy who can expand the party's reach in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, and in Wisconsin and in Ohio by default.
Linsey, we had a pretty electrified crowd here at TSU, and
Yes.
you heard from a lot of the students afterwards.
Yeah, so we talked to them, and interestingly, they seem really interested in criminal justice reform. They liked what they heard last night. They wanted to hear more. In particular, they were interested in mass black incarceration and also the decriminalization of marijuana and what's that going to mean for current drug offenders. And they really seem to like what they heard as far as those issues are concerned from Booker, and then certainly right behind him from O'Rourke and Buttigieg.
And Jon, as we're about not 24 hours yet, 12 hours out right now almost, what's the big takeaway? What changed, if anything?
I think this was essentially a status quo debate. I mean, Biden comes out of this. He had his best debate performance of the three. It wasn't a particularly strong debate performance overall.
But he came out fighting, particularly at the top.
But he came out fighting in the top. Warren didn't really change the dynamic. She didn't do anything to hurt herself, didn't do anything to overtake Biden, and nobody from the back of the pack really had a huge breakthrough moment. I think this leaves the race essentially where it was.
Where does it go next?
Well, here's what this is a context why this debate was important. I think the first two debates were not good for the Democratic Party and had a legacy that impacted the North Carolina election. In fact, at the very moment, Donald Trump is starting to drop. It means more voters are available, more voters are going to look around. And I think the Democratic Party has an obligation, I think this debate did it, to put a better foot forward and bring those voters into the Democratic Party. This is a key moment because Donald Trump is weakening, and he knows it. You can see the way he's acting. And I think at this point, I think the candidates will continue to sharpen the debates, but really on health care, I know we contrast and say these are big divisions. They're really not big divisions in the sense of how you get to further coverage of health care, how you control costs. Candidates have an obligation to sharpen that. But I think what goes from here is money, energy. I think the big takeaway is there were probably not big winners. There were clear losers.
Who's the clear losers?
I think Julián Castro really hurt himself because he has a point. It got lost about buy-in versus automatic in. It got lost in the way he attacked Joe Biden, and I think that's going to come back and hurt him.
Still got 20 candidates in the race. First time had 10 on the stage.
It's like an Agatha Christie novel.
At what point, or is it going to take until Iowa, until the first votes, do we start to see a smaller, more cohesive
I don't
field?
see. I think some of the candidates, Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris, they're not dropping. Mayor Pete, they're not dropping out because they think Joe Biden right now is a weak front runner, and they're going to be there in case he falters to catch, be there to catch the football.
Haven't seen a tweet storm from President Trump, at least yet, about the debate. What's your sense of what they were thinking in the Trump campaign as they were watching?
I think, first of all, you saw from Trump right before the debate started what he was thinking, and it's exactly what Rahm said. He is uneasy. He sees the polls. He follows the polls, as you know, closer than everyone else. And his pitch to the Republicans in Baltimore right before the debate started was, you have to vote for me whether you like me or not, because the Democrats are going to send us to hell. I mean, it was this stark contrast. So it's going to be a burn election. This is.
I don't mean to. If you think of the first two debates, there was a point that the president was a little stable and grimy. Right now, he's on the descent. That's a huge opportunity for Democrats. I think if we can improve the party, and in that summer, as the presidential debates happened, Democrats actually went to a net positive to a net negative. This debate and going forward, we have to improve our contest as a party, forget the individuals, and our image, because right now, Donald Trump is really wobbly and voters are peeling off of him. This is a unique opportunity to actually prepare us for the general election.
And his response is Democrats are going to destroy the country. I mean, it's not a positive. It's not
coming from him. It's a real insult.
Yeah.
We got quite a few debates ahead. Thank you all very much. Let's go back up to New York.
Hey, George, we know there are always unscripted, unexpected moments in these types of debates, but I'm curious, what surprised you most about last night?
I was surprised that they came to play so hard at the beginning. I was actually, as we were preparing for the debate, wondering if the Democrats, because you heard it in their opening statements, they were talking about how we're united by much more than divides us. I thought that meant that at times they actually wouldn't be willing to debate, but what surprised me the most was how they came right out of the box and were really willing to play out these differences, particularly over health care.
All right, George, I know we'll hear much more from you in just a bit.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.